Ten Hag lives to breathe another day as they beat Luton by 1-0. There you are, Craig. They're back. Take that.
Take that.
Take that.
Well, in some sense, he's been a little, I was thinking you earlier, a little fortunate off the back of bad results. The City game and the Copenhagen game that he had Fulham, who have been struggling this year, and Luton, who are one of the favourites for relegation. But you still have to go out and get the job done. Now, they made damn hard work of it because they were so poor in front of goal. They should have buried this game. Luton had the odd chance. That Anana had to make some saves, one off a header in particular, I think, in the first half. And then they were under a little bit of pressure at the end, giving away a couple of set pieces in injury time. But they always looked relatively comfortable. It was just the finishing. If the finishing was there, Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford, if these guys were on the game, this game would have been 3 or 4. So from Ten Hag's point of view, this was nothing more than absolutely the same as the Fulham game. It was just about getting the 3 points.
What about those United fans who are shouting at the screen going, Spurs lose, and they get lots of cuddles and love and excuses? Manchester United win.
Do I have to sit here every week and explain this to Muppets? Right? The expectations at Manchester United, from the money they have spent, from the coach they have hired and the players they have, is much higher than a new guy coming in working with what he's got, right? The expectations for Postecoglou, particularly having sold the best striker in Europe at the moment in Harry Kane, and where Spurs were last year, United finished third last year. They won the Carabao Cup, they were in the FA Cup final. It was time to kick on at this moment in time. They have not. You will know there is a huge difference. You're sat there with that little smirky face. It's quite close to getting
I'm asking the question that people want answered.
You're feeding those idiots in the United support that don't know any better, basically, is what you're doing.
What any United fan will realise, Jules, and they don't need this graphic to back them up, is this lack of any sort of goal scorer. You take a look at it, their leading scorer at the moment is Bruno Fernandes and Scott McTominay. And then Rashford's got one. You know, we talked about the impact that we've seen Højlund make. He's yet to get a Premier League goal.
Yeah, that's crazy, really. And I think the most important line, really, is the one at the bottom of the graphic down with all the guys who are yet to score in the Premier League. Højlund, we mentioned, but also the others, Garnacho and Martial and all of that. It's really, when you think about it, and again, we don't always have to go back to the money spent, but we have to in this case, because you spend all that money and yet you currently don't really have a top centre forward. And Højlund might become one, and Højlund has 5 goals in the Champions League, which means that there's clearly a potential there. But right now, you can have 1,000 goals in the Champions League if you want. In the league, he's not helping them. And when I know Xhaka says it's a great save from Kaminski on that first chance after just 10 minutes, but I'm sorry, he should bury that. He should get into the goal with the ball. This should not be another chance that he misses. And there's been too many of those in the Premier League. So I'm sure at some point Højlund would come good as well domestically, like he's been in at some moments in the Champions League. But right now, this is one of the problems at United, 100%, is that the lack of efficiency, not being clinical enough, the XG being higher than the actual goals themselves. And I'm not really sure, apart from keeping working at training, I guess, I don't know how you solve that problem.
No, against Luton's not really a big difference. I'm going to the other end here. I'm presuming Jules knows a little bit about this, being his countryman. What the hell is happening to Raphael Varane? He's had 3 players, 3 centre-backs are all have been surplus to requirements, basically. Mm-hmm. And one of them, Johnny Evans, who didn't play today because Victor Lindelof played. Johnny Evans only came to the club in the summer to train to help them out in pre-season, and he's playing before a World Cup winner. Jules, what the hell is going on there?
It's a great question, Craig. I don't know. When I saw him on the bench again against Copenhagen with Johnny Evans preferred to him, I was like, what is going on here? The only reason, and I don't think Rafa himself knows why he's back on the bench today, is it maybe because Maguire prefers to play on the right side of the 2 centre-backs, and when Varane plays, Varane is on the right and Maguire is moved to the left, whereas when Maguire plays, Evans and Lindelof both plays on the left-hand side. So would you not pick Varane to benefit Maguire in terms of positioning? But even that, I think, is a bit far-fetched, to be fair. So I struggle, unless there's a fitness issue, which I was not told there was. I don't think there is. But apart from that, I cannot understand how you can prefer Evans and Lindelof to Rafael Varane, who at the start of the season is your number 1 centre-back, Lisandro Martinez, your number 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 are Maguire, Lindelof, Evans in the order that you want. But now that Varane is fit again and fit enough to be on your bench, how you don't pick him is for me hard to understand. Sorry.
Jules, Ten Hag explained that this year he prefers Maguire with Evans. He said it in a press conference. He said that last year he was happy to work with Rafael Varane, but he just said yesterday, I think, during an interview, that he wants to have Maguire and Evans if it's not Lindelof. So it's clear that he thinks that Varane is less good than the 2 others. Oh, big question. You know, I'm very surprised. I know that there is a problem of consistency with Varane. I know that Varane is injured a lot, but when he plays, don't tell me that is less good than Evans and or Maguire. It's impossible. I mean, that's something I don't understand in football anymore.